All right, so basically, 300 tons averages $15,000 a year. And then if you look at it like this, to say, watch this, I'll show you. All right, so let's start off with Turkey. As you see, Turkey's at the bottom of the list right there. Let's scroll down to Turkey. And their gold reserve is like 350 tons or something like that, or 300 tons. But then you look at their GDP based off of dividing it. So I'll just do that. Let me do that real quick before I show y'all, so y'all don't think I'm just making this up. 851 million into, let's say they have 85 million people. The population right there says 83. Let's say they have 85 million. And this is 860 billion divided into 86 million people. It's $10,000 a year. Now, in order to change that, their gold reserve, let's see, the GDP here says $1 trillion, but they still is averaging 14,800 a year. And their GDP is actually decreased as far as from this site to that site. But the world debt clock, this thing, has been around for a long time, and it updates constantly. Wow, this hasn't been updated since 2012. So apparently Turkey's growth went up from 2010, 2011, 2012, and somehow it started to fall. So other than that, it reduced the actual standard of what it was supposed to be worth. And check this out. Now, with Turkey being, let's see, Turkey is, I'm just scrolling down to show y'all where Turkey is right quick. Right there. 293 tons. So in all actuality, with them having the backing of 293 to average 300 tons, that shows based off their GDP, they should actually have 15,000 at the lowest. But right here it says they're making 15,000 right there, but the GDP now is saying they're making 10,000 according to the world debt clock. So in all actuality, they're actually losing money. But when you do the math from Turkey all the way down to United States, it adds up to the amount of what the president should make, because all the presidents make 400,000. Because if you look at it, every 300 tons, let's say it's 15,000. So 15,000 at 300 tons. If somebody has 3,000 tons, that's 150,000. And see right here, International Monetary Fund, they have about 3,000 tons. So the people that's in that organization probably average a good $150,000 a year. And in Germany, it's around the same thing, 150,000. And in America, it's about $400,000, because 3,000 plus 3,000 is 6,000. So that's 150 plus 150, that's 300,000. But since it's about close to 9,000, That's another 3,000 added, or another 150,000 added onto 300,000, and that's 450,000, minus the true difference of about 10%. 10% of 450,000 is 45,000, minus the 450,000. That'll make it about 405,000. Or it'll make the 9,000 tons into 10% less, which is 8,100 tons, with a remainder of 33. And y'all like that number, 0.5. And I'll just go back and record this list, and I'm gonna try to run with that. So let's see how that works. Let's see. All right, so you look at Sweden. Let's do some numbers so you can see what I'm saying. So Sweden has GDP. It's right there, 5 up or 4 up from the picture of Sweden. The list of them is right there. So let me see something right quick. Let's make sure to record the audio on, because I don't feel like doing that all over again, talking about the same thing, blah, blah. Alright, so Sweden is right here. That's Sweden. Alright, so 562 billion into 10 million is roughly around 50,000 a year. So let's see if that's right. See, they're getting overpaid, but it's not a bad thing. 562. No, it's 563. 100,000 million billion into 10 million into 11 million people. $51,000 average to $50,000 average a year. So if they could average 50,000 a year with 125 tons, let's say that's half of 300 tons. So the 300 ton scenario was 15,000, average around 15,000. So if they have half of that, that's 7,500. So subtract 7,500 minus the 51,000. So they make, let's say 8,000 times 5. They make 5 times more than 7,500, or 6 times more than 7,500. So they make 6 times more with 10 million people. So the less people they have, the more money they seem to make. So they have a good financial system. So that's why they don't have to hold a lot of gold. So you want to look at the financial structure of Sweden. We do that right quick. Alright, so blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Go ahead and talk about Sweden. Sweden hasn't participated in the war in almost 2 centuries. Way to go, Sweden. And armed neutrality was preserved. The long successful economic formula of a capitalist system, mixed with struggles into the 90s to the early 2000s, showed economic downturns. But as of now, with this scenario that I'm showing you, is a part of fiscal discipline over the few years, has allowed and still showed an economic varieties. And then Sweden joined the EU to unify. But they ain't want to do it because they felt that they were going to lose their money to International Monetary. So the IMF said, well, look, we had all this gold, and you get all this money, and y'all can tell me how to run business. You ain't even in my office. And then Sweden said, settle, and the judge said, not guilty. And then, ta-da. So after that, blah, blah, blah. Next. So we finished with that one. So what's next? This is funny stuff right here. So then going. Alrighty. So then Singapore is next. Dun, 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 dun. I wish I had some music. Dun, ding, dun, ding, dun, dun, ding, dun, dun. Let's see. Singapore ain't on this one, so measure it with that. 125. They have 1% more to 2% more. So let's see how that money look. So Singapore. Go ahead. I look at the economy and the introduction a little bit. So $60,000, 2% more. No, what's this? What's 2% more of? Get that out the way. 2% more times 1%. This will cost 1,000. 2%. So 50. I would say about 54,000. They should be making an average of 54,000, but they're actually making 12% more than they should. So their financial structure is investing. So you think about it, it says they have a large port for tonnage handle, so they're shipping a lot of gold. And every time it gets shipped, some of it end up missing. So you put money on the boat, and you get money off the boat, you ain't missing no money, just the boat. And it has highly open, corrupt-free environment. But overhead costs, it's about 12%. So if you go there with 100,000, you're gonna probably lose about 12,000. And then they'll make back about 14%. Because they still averaging 2% more off of Sweden. And that's why it says the economy contracted. I'll scroll to the top right there, look. Right at the top of it said the economy contracted 0.8%. That's not even 1%. In 2009, when everybody was going through the financial crisis. As a result of a global financial crisis. Globally. But came back 14.8. That's the 12% I was just talking about, plus the 2% from Sweden. So even Sweden put the gold back on the Singaporean boat. Ta-da. So then, $60,000. Payroll still going up, and I ain't even talking about nothing. What's 12% of $60,000? 10%? $6,000. 7,200. How much was Sweden overhead? I just showed you 7,500. So that means I'm sure 300 even out Sweden. So then, that out the way. And then Poland. Go ahead, Poland. What are you talking about? You ain't no Poland. So, that ain't hardly nothing more than that. I might as well stick with the same numbers because you know they said Poland made an increase of 2 times. So I didn't even read that till I said I said it earlier, but I guess I just first time read it and remembered and said it again. So since I was recent 2018, they're still in their treasury bond. So they still get to secure their treasury bond by 20% and say Singapore has that right to secure 14% and Poland has the right to make 6%. And then I'm 36. So since I've been up, I could have been told you that a year ago. I said, y'all don't waste and don't get it. I'll have to tell you later. And then Thailand ain't on the list, but God bless Thailand. Nice statues. And then by the time they put the work in, they're making a lot of jewelry off the gold that's left around, which shows how much they can make. But I'm looking to show you how much Poland made. It's Thailand. Alright, so let's go do Poland right quick. And Poland's around 20,000. And they have 3 times more people than Sweden. But they make about 3 times less than the people in Sweden. But they make like 20,000 a year. We're just making small items. So their industry consists of building machines, iron and steel, coal mining, shipbuilding. But that ain't the smallest item, but that's the largest to the smallest. So in actuality, that's their industry. Now some industries don't even build nothing, but that's still called, that's what they do. Oh yeah, it gets back to their government. Poland has pursued the policy of economic liberation. So they decide to take the gold and build what they can. Poland's economy was the only one in the European Union to avoid recession because they took an independent approach to what they said before even ready. Although the EU membership and access to it have provided a boost since 2004, it still remains below the average of the EU because they ain't making as much as they should. Like I said, Sweden getting about 50, they getting 20. And why is that? Because everybody think they can invest and make somebody money and be losing it just like somebody ain't never lost. Now Prime Minister Donald ain't got a tusk on Trump, but he wanna steer the Polish like a president. So then, by the time they realized the land they on, he said, hey, is that the president or is that the minister? I was the general telling Mr. Trump, what kind of white you on? And he said, oh, he shot right on target and blew right on down. And blow on the only thing that was looking like a Polish flag. And then, other than that, God bless y'all and keep on going. And other than that, Alright, so I ain't even doing the math on the rest of them yet Cause as you see, we still in the 120s. 120, I guess a nigga doing. You know? Yeah, you got Thailand. Okay, there go 30. And then Thailand. So Thailand. Alright, so let's see if I do the math real quick before I even see it. Alright, so Thailand, 154,000, 15,7,500 is what I was saying off of 300, 15,000 off of 300 tons. Cause that's a back, and back moving back, still digging back. So when you're digging, what's on your back? A bone. What dogs do with bones when they find them? They dig and put them down. They ain't worried about how many muscles they got. Cause them paws move, y'all. That's what we were. Alright, so anyway. Thailand. Okay. Daggone, that's all funny. I ain't trying to laugh. Okay. Alright. Y'all ain't know what I'm trying to talk about. Everything I'm laughing at the people. I'm talking about the topics, man. So, okay. So when you swing your paw and you got jewelry on, where do you think it came from? Alright, so so I was saying about 300 tons is 15,000, but 150 tons is 7,500. So keep in mind, I ain't do all this ahead of time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go look and see gold and find out how many tons and measure the tons and say that's how much they get an hour. Go look at the fact book and see how much they actually get an hour and see if they're getting overpaid or underpaid based off the terms and terminologies, so the logistics of the inventory of it being shipped on ports and deported and imported and exported and refugee. I ain't doing all that. I'll just tell y'all how easy life can be. So when it look hard, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Like Tupac said, don't smile for me, smile for that nigga. Cause he ain't gotta deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, let's see what Thailand got going on. Now, if they overpaid, they underpaid. We'll go to introduction later. I ain't gonna look at that yet. Bam. 7,500. So in actuality, by the gold standard, they're getting paid efficiently, but that's not sustainable because 9,500 ain't a lot of money. You look at their business, they deal with agriculture, so that's the struggle, but they feed their own, so it is sustainable. If you want to find out, and they put clothes in their back because they make garments too. Go ahead, Thailand. If you want to find out, and tungsten has the hardest heat melting point. Go ahead, Family Guy. And whatever. So other than that, what's the daggone? I forget what I was gonna tell you. Oh yeah, so they like rice, cassava. Yeah, I hope you don't eat no rubber. Corn, sugar cane, coconuts. Dang. Alright, so $9,000 into 9,500. So that's like saying, oh yeah, some of the people weigh and stuff. That's what I wanted to look at right quick. But I think, oh no, if I look at it, that's what's so sweet about this, John. I could look at this and I can still record it. And is it going to be whack? Because it's going to talk about, oh, I can press mute. Let's see how that works.
The population in India being the highest.
So Thailand, let's see if I can find Thailand on this jump. So this is just the body weight to see if they eating good. So as you see, I'm going to do like that.
With the population in India.
Make it a little bigger. So that's dumb. They're not in that first list.
The highest population on the planet.
If Thailand can find right there on the list, let's see. And that's the first list. Second list, Thailand. Thailand's on the second list. Third spot, right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Thailand has eaten almost better than half the planet with a sustainable body fat average of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 23 to 24 added is 57 divided by 2. That's 27. No, I mean, my bad, I did that wrong. 23 plus 24 is 47 divided by 2. That's 44 average, 43.5. I mean, 23.5. Daggone. What the heck? I'm doing the math. That's what everybody say. Man, you smart with stuff, but you made the easy stuff super hard. So then, 23 body fat percentage. So Thailand has about 23 and a half body fat. So if the lowest end is 20, like see how that's 20. So if 20 is 140 pounds, 10% more is 22. So 10% of 140 is 14. Add to 140, that's 154. But since it's 20% more, that's another 14. That's 168. So anybody in Thailand that's 168 or less pounds should get paid more per hour so they can sustain their health and reduce health costs.
Are the heaviest woman on the planet. Take a look at that. So, if you look at the nation.
Alright, so enough with this one. I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way. And then put that back to show you what they eat. And start distributing more food over there to sustain the economy. So household consumption means by the time they put that back in the house and what they do, that's how much they spend on it. So about $5,000 a year goes into the market of the industry. Since 10% of that goes into the market, or 12.2 as you see right here, 12.3. That shows that $500 to $600 goes into food. Or you can say $2 a day goes into the food, 4 times more in the industry. So $8 a day goes into their logistics, and the other $8 a day. So 8 plus 8 plus 4, that's a $20 bill every day. So what's $20 a day? Because we all got forms of eating daily. Get that number out there. $20 times 365, 7,300. And that's what I was just saying. That's how much they make on it. So check this out. They're making 9,500, 2,200 more from 2012 to this 30th of now. So they're prepared based off the industry because they're sufficiently growing their own and creating for their own. And they have a lot of tungsten, so regardless of how mad somebody get with them, they did it anyway. So then again, go ahead, Thailand. Guess who from Thailand? Sagat with a big scar on his chest. And that's Thailand. Ta-da. Ta-da. Said, if you don't give me some food, I'm gonna beat you. He said, here's your food, Hadouken. How you doing, Ken? And then Ken said, let's see where they from. They from Japan. Hey, man, get crazy. We got melons like cassava. And he said, get that cassava out my face. Got tired of eating that jank. Alright, so next, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so, okay, I could throw that one out the way, leave that there, ready to go Thailand, and then Venezuela, doing good this year. 2019, 2016, Venezuela came up 1,000% in that market. How the heck that? Where they do that at? And then Venezuela is going off. Alright, so remember I was talking about getting lasers to see in the ground and see through mountains and stuff? Because somebody getting a lot of money, but they ain't looking for the ones who was making the money. Unlicensed mines. Need to find out where them people at, man. It's POW, man. Stop playing. Golly, it's so whack. That's whack. And then, okay, Venezuela not on the list of the world on this thing. See, it's not on this list, but it's the World Dead Clock. So if they ain't showing what's going on, how they making thousands? Cause them dead bodies still hard as claim. But the hardest claim ain't never sell out. Cause they kept faith the whole time. Alright, so faith is not illegal. Mines are. Ooh. Church first state, nigga. Tell me what your mind think. Your mind state. You can license your mind and say whatever you want. But the church gonna say something different. Jesus. Ta-da. Alright, so let's go ahead. Since it ain't on this list, so we gotta find out what Venezuela doing. We don't have to, but it's alright. So Venezuela. Oops. There we go. Alright, so right here. Poor Mr. Chavez. So they had a housing crisis. We had a housing crisis also in the United States. So then the crisis went back to Greece. They had to bail out and then look to put people in powers in Greece. Like the news article they said about TH. Our Family Guy would say Tim. And then a horn is an F flat. So put an A what a horn does. And if you say it honks, then put an A there. Alright, so other than that, Venezuela is so I was saying, remember I said 300,000. 300 tons is 15,000. So 1.61 ton is half of 300 tons. So that's 7,500 plus the 750 over 10% to turn it from 150 to 161. Because 10% of 150 is 15 added to the 150 is 165. So if it's not more tons there, that's still like saying 5%. So instead of adding 15s, adding 7.5 to the tons of 150, it makes it 7,500, and half of 750 is 375. So they still roughly average around 5 to 7% more than 7,500. So that's roughly about like 9,000. I just say at the high end. So let's see if they've made 9,000 a year, and if so, that's more than. That's less than Thailand, but they have more gold, and they have made more. So they're making more based off of their economy, and Thailand's making 2,000 more based off their economy. So 4,000 more, 5,000 more average in Venezuela. So people had better opportunities investing in Venezuela, about 4,000 to 5,000% more. So if you look at this, and look at Venezuela, the performance is right there, percentage wise. So they're already at 3,000 some odd percent as of the 9th of January. But now it's back down to 1,000. So that shows that their percentages could still average up to $1. But if every dollar went to look for them, they wouldn't have no percentages. They would probably try to take the amount out of their legal minds and say it's more valuable than a person's life and put them right back down there anyway. So Venezuela probably says, hey, don't lock them up, put them in the mine. And if they don't come out, fine. If they come out, what you think they're going to come out with? They ain't come out with a job because they ain't going back in that mine. You know what I'm saying? So then, still recording, keep on going. Other than that, Venezuela, go right back to the list of that. It's not on the list. So they don't have the population with the numbers because they just put prisoners in mines. Like what's that movie with the people in the mountains? That was the name of that movie. It's supposed to be a scary movie. Let me see if I can find that Jane. Gary. And see, they're in San Diego near the far west, but they couldn't look down to see the people in the mountains. So when the people's in the mountains, they were mutating, but they still the same. So they didn't get changed. And other than that, you talk about other stuff. If you want to, they can say, you don't want to talk about it because we don't want to know. You want some more money, 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 money. And so then, go ahead and get some of this stuff out of the way. That's that. That's that. Keep moving. So anyway, oh yeah, let me see some right quick. Hey, to get down people out of the mountains all around the world. Out of the mines, get them out of the mines. Pray that they can realize the loss on the top of the mountain. And then Algeria. Go ahead, Algeria. What you got going on? That's about. So Venezuela is making efficient money and they're handling prisoners well, but they just have housing crisis because they dig so much in the ground, they can't put a house down. That makes sense. Alright, so Algeria is not on the list. Above, right here, says, see? Not on it. You can go look it up. World Debt Clock. Alright, so the tons that they have is about 10 tons more. So the scenario is about 5% more. So that should go to about $9,000 to $10,000 in Algeria. But since Venezuela's already at like 15,000, around this time it's probably around 15,000 because it's 2012 on here. I'd say 13,500. Let's see. Algeria is around it's actually getting paid less because 150 tons is supposed to be 300,000. So, 300 tons supposed to be 15,000. 150 tons supposed to be 7,500. So they probably are at the moment now, 2016, 2018, it's 2020 right now. So they probably right at their target. Because as you see, the GDP here, they're averaging 100 increase a year. Look, 7,100, 7,200, 7,300. So 8 years added on to that, that's 8,100. So they're probably just pulling up enough. But when you look at their business, large agriculture, but the agriculture, wheat, barley, oats, grapes, olives, citrus, fruits, sheep, cattle. So if you want to find out how to live, go off the agriculture to sustain the health, because if they living off of $7,300, I did the same amount of UPS my first few years, and it still was enough, but it won't sustain the health requirements of a body fat index. So the body fat index of Algeria.
Basically, with the population in India being at the highest.
Alright, so let's see where Algeria is on the list. Algeria is not, of course, not part of the top list.
On the planet.
Even though they ain't making a lot of money right now.
As you can see, through the weight of the individuals.
That's Angola. There it is. It's like playing Wells Waldo. Where's Waldo, y'all? Right there. It's on the second list. I just seen it, but I gotta wait for it to zoom back out again. I'll just let it do its own thing. I don't feel like doing all
India. Right at the top of it.
Hold up, we go back. See if I can pull it up like that.
India, right at the top of here. You can see that the blue is male, so that means the males are heavier than the woman. But the odd thing about it is if you look at Kuwait.
Alright, so Algeria, I just saw it was over here somewhere. There it go. Right here. That little stupid square thing keep taking it is right there underneath the red circle. So let's count the spaces from the bottom up. From Uzbekistan, Denmark, Ukraine. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the 13th spot. So that's like saying from here straight over. It's heavier woman than there are men over there. And the percentage.
The Kuwaiti woman. India. Right at the top of here.
I'm trying to see the percentage of it.
You can see that.
Because I should have zoomed out when I recorded this video, but I didn't. I just was
are heavier than the woman.
looking at something.
But the odd thing about it is if you look at weight. The Kuwaiti women are the heaviest woman on the planet. Take a look at that. So, if you look at the nation.
Alright, so that's the first list right there, the second list. And I gotta get the zoom out to see the third list. So it's like right here. It won't even let me zoom in. That's some bull. I know why. Because I ain't looking at it from this. Hold up. Let me see something. I gotta look at it from the gallery because it ain't gonna play it out the recorder. So, oh, that, I get it. Never mind. I gotta do like this. Go up through the gallery and then zoom in. Wherever the heck that's at. And the gallery right here.
And go right back to. And go right back.
Let's see, delete this one. man.
And go right back to the nation in Kuwait compared to the nation and go right back to
I was trying to find out
the
Algeria.
nation in Kuwait.
So Algeria would have
You look at the nation and go right back to
20%
the nation
BMI.
and
It's difficult to get the edge on the stoplight right there.
go right back to nation.
Alright.
And
Daggone it.
and go right back to
Alright, so there we go. So basically they're around 24 to 25. So 24 plus 25, 25, 25, 50. So they average about 25% body fat. So remember I was saying 20% body fat is 140. 20% more, that's about 150 to 160 pounds. So I'm going to do like that. Watch. So, oh yeah, and that's the heavy scale side of it. See, this is showing Germany and everybody else. So the average weight of two people, and it looks like they highlighted Germany. Like Germany is actually near Algeria. But when you think about it, it's like saying, let's see. Go ahead and do like this, make it easy. See, it's in Africa. So the average weight in Algeria. Anyway, let's say they measuring it with Germany because they got the numbers black, like right there, 82.4 kilograms. So just say 181.7 plus 148. So that's about 333 divided by 2. That's what, about like 167? So let me just add that real quick, see if I'm wrong. 181.4 0.7 plus 148.8 divided by 2. Well, what did I say? 333? I was close. I said 333, I think. Divided by 2, 160 something. Well, I ain't gonna know until I wind and listen again. That's a good thing about recording yourself. Because you can say, Hey, he's stupid. He don't know what you talking about. And then he said, oh, dang, I was recording myself. Oh, I was kind of close. And he said, well, you ain't close enough. You wouldn't get a B plus if you was in my class. Little bumblebee. He ain't stinging nobody. That's when the sting got on and said, woo. And everybody put some paint on their face. And then, alright, so now we gotta see. I just take them. I don't feel like doing all this. Keep on. Blah, blah, blah. I already did that part. So, I know what I'll do. So, here we go. Where the heck did that thing go? Hey, where the world that clock go? So that's Algeria. So this Algeria on the world debt clock list, man. They should daggone look out for me now. Golly. Take about 15 minutes to explain what's going on in Algeria. They didn't get more than 12,000 favorite. Oh. In the Philippines, that's close to 200 tons. 200 tons. So that's 33% of 15,000 less. Or 33% of 300 less. Like you say, what's 33% of 15,000? It's 5,000. So actually about 36%. So it's like 5,500 less than 15,000. So in the Philippines, that's 9,500. Because 5,500 minus 15,000 is 9,500. So let's see what they do in the Philippines. The Philippines is on the World Debt Clock list. If you go to the website, it's a live list. Watch, I'll show you because y'all make sense. See? It's a live list. They're just moving right now. And America's going in more debt as we speak. Ta-da! Alright, so other than that, ta-da! Oops. Hey. So then, that's $9,500. What is it? Oh yeah, Philippines. So $9,500. So watch. What? Hey, babe, wait, listen. So they have economic growth potential of 2 times more on average. Until, because see, it's doing like $100 increase from 2010 to 2011, and then 200 increase. So instead of saying it's doubling every year, just say that with the total increase being 300, it's still increasing about $100 to $150 each year times 8. So 8 times 100 is of course $800, and then 50 is $1,200. So that's $5,600 roughly, compared to them. A 5,000 average, $5,500 compared to them making $9,500. So they still short like $4,000 a year. So that's how short they are with says Philippine Constitution and other laws continue to restrict foreign ownership in important activity sectors such as land ownership and public utilities. So, my friend, Ronell Hopkins, they ain't giving you ownership of the land. They're trying to get you out of the land, so they put you in Israel so you can't go over there and get no of their money. Now, Israel looking at your utilities like, oh, he gonna pay for this. And then Filipinos said, yep, he paid for the land too. But the land is backed by the Constitution in the Philippines. So the constitutional establishment has lacked interest, but gained interest from those who have led before to proper establishment. Then, other than that, what else is it? Oh yeah. So, go back. Oops. So they short about $4,000 a year in the Philippines. So then look at it like this. If the Philippines is one of the largest gold producers in Asia, it ain't benefiting the Philippines. Although the mining business is big there, it's thought that much of the gold is still untapped, desperately poor locals. It says on there, as you see there, going through some things. And then if they straight gold, they go through the swamps and be going through some stuff. So swamps could be worse than mines. And then the country has large reserves. And that's the record of ownership. So with that record of ownership, they still missing $4,000 a year. Or you can say about $10 a day, $13 a day, $12 a day. So with the other numbers I did earlier, with Angola and the other nations pulling in $20 a day, or Thailand pulling in $20 a day, the same scenario isn't put in place in the Philippines to get the $20. So going out to work is still putting food in the person's mouth, which is a tenth of the structure of the composition. And then the clothes on their back is about a 20%. So that's 30%. And the water is 70% of our body. And that's 100%. So the best thing to do is to get them to make clothes so they can help you with the water and the food. Because if you try to buy the land, they can say it's unconstitutional, kick the whole contract, and then zoning regulations say, now go make some clothes over in another place. And they say, well, you can't get no clothes in a place, and that's what they're paying you for. So you won't get them to make clothes to the Chinese government. She can make you say, hey, wait on this and wait on that. And the Wi-Fi finna go right back and say, that's the clothes we need. And you say, well, alright, keep moving. So, introduction, seeing why short $4,000 a year. Let's see. We open military bases in the Philippines where more citizens go over there with constitutional rights or land rights from other nations that haven't been on land for the other nations. So the 4,000 short, just pull a one to make short to get another 4,000. Say, hey, she did it all, but you ain't got $4,000, so I can go back and say, I did something. And then 4,000 go right to security. Say, oh, hey, listen, in the prison. And if you go back, you ain't lost. And if you seek, you ain't gonna find. Well, the least you seek, the all you gonna find. So even Moses was waiting to seek some more. And when he went to seek, he only got 10 things with him. And guess what he found? The same promised land. Even though he didn't get it at that time, he still get to seek it for us to enjoy. So, be mine. And then after that, they said, hey, this is me. I said, then that, blah, blah, blah. And they said, hey, black niggas, they gonna hate money. And he still close his mouth. I'm done saying that. And then after Belgium, that's one that clock, and it's right there. So with Belgium, that's roughly around 50,000. So 540 billion, let's say. 540 billion. Divided into 11 to 12 million. Yeah, 45,000. I said 50,000, but about 45,000 made in a year. Under 300 tons, which is 15,000, and 20% less, which is $12,000 roughly. They make 45,000 minus the 12. That's about 45 minus 12, of course, is 33 again, back to 33. So they're making about 32,000 more in Belgium. Then they push it from Belgium over here and say, hey, you go to work, you get $33,000 and I'm singing to them. And then the $33,000 extra went away and probably to the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada. And Belgium must have been unsure where to store it if it ain't go back to them. Yeah, I thought, man, we can't give them that. So we might as well go ahead and store it for ourselves. And then after that, that's already done. So 10 years times 10 years times $30,000, $330,000. And 10 years, you still ain't get $300,000. So of course, we gonna tell you what, so y'all ain't getting time. You can say you took it all the time. And 3 niggas looking like the same 100,000 Caucasian with a skin tan. So now we go to the Austrian mountains. See which one of y'all came down last. And Austria ain't on this list, but you can get on my bad list if you want to. And I said, I ain't gotta give you nothing but a gym to play with. And my Jimmy ain't your Jimmy. So take your jail and your gay cell and call yourself to do well. And I said, put in Austria shot put. Watch this. Go ahead, yo. Oh, might as well go and look. And then, look at it. Go ahead. way back in the day. Let's see. That's on now. And then when you look at the history off of sites, you say, yeah, look at Austria. And that's about 15,000 since it's not on the list. It's roughly around 15,000 to about 10% less of 15,000. That's about 13,500. So look at Austria here. See, they got 13,500. You don't mess my word that close. You like, man, my world fact book, man. Alright, so let's see. Here we go. So Austria. It's 42,000, so they're making roughly around this day and age about 40,000 more than normal. So when you look at their composition, most of it's being made off of industry services, but being spent in the house. With less agricultural structure, more imports. So let's see who their import partners are, because basically that's where they're getting the most of their discounts. So I says they probably spend less on imports and make more off exports. I ain't look at it yet, right? So imports is right beside, that's real close, 167. So they kind of balancing off the imports, exports with their import partners, Germany. So Germany is like real close to Austria. That's probably why when I looked at the weight of the people, they showed Germany, because they was even in partnership with the weight. So, oh no, that's Algeria. I was gonna say. So yes, other than that, yep, that's still similar and close. But let's see what Austria is. Alright, so let's see where that's at. Austria, it's near Germany. Algeria is kind of far from Germany. Yeah, so. Alrighty, so other than that, $40,000 more than average. Well, actually, yeah, let's say about like 40,000. Well, it ain't 40,000 more, because 300 tons, that's 10. That's 15,000. 13,500. So it's actually about like 28,000 to 30,000 more than average. So dealing with the Germans, doing the exports. So they're making more money off of saving on the land, shipping on the land instead of shipping overseas. So just like in America, instead of shipping stuff back and forth, we better off shipping on the land to sustain the economies and increase the salaries of citizens. So Germany is #1 import and export partner. And they mostly shipping machines. So the machines aftermarket value is average 30,000 more. So if we ain't getting machines more than 30,000 more, the German gonna look at us like the dude there when I was driving the BMW, messing with me, driving down the street, cutting me off, slow down, I slow down 45 miles an hour, then sped up. When I sped up to about 60, 70 miles an hour, slow down, sped up, slow down, sped up, with a girl in the passenger seat looking at me like they racist or something. Because the car had as much as they spent on their car. So they felt like they overspent from 30,000 to about 10,000, 5,000. So they spent over 20,000 more, and it still ain't sufficing people. They didn't even have people in the back seat. Because if they did, they wouldn't have been driving that fast. So that's racist. So other than that, blah, blah, blah. And in Spain, that's about $13,500 average in Spain. And see, 30,000. So that's about $16,500 more. So their export partner is only making 16,000 more, while Germany and Austria is making 30,000 more. So Germany and Austria is making twice as much off of the machines, and Spain is only making half off the clothes. So clothing, if you read on there, was a large distributor of clothing. So even though they're doing the exports and the imports, they still making money off the interest charges. But they shipping a lot of stuff, I would say, to France, more stuff to France than they are to Germany. And they're getting more stuff from Germany than they are from France. So that just means that they're getting more vehicles at a higher rate. And France is getting more clothes at a higher rate. But it doesn't make them money for them to send clothes out and sell clothes. It makes them money to sell vehicles. So Germany and Austria make money off of selling vehicles like BMW, Mercedes, Audis, or whatever other German vehicles they have, Cossingers or whatever they call. And then Spain makes money off selling clothes, but it's about $15,000 less a year, or half of what they make off of selling cars. So in actuality, as a nation, the auto industry has more value as far as manufacturing than the clothing industry. But the Bible talks about clothing and linen, or having a comforter given as we have sleep and rest. But through the day, Jesus walked, and the vehicle is what's moved, or the vessel. So the vessels should be clothed, but in the beginning they were naked. So Spain still knew France without being gay as they were naked, or to go to a new beach, etc. So other than that, got Spain, that's the economy there. They're making half less off the vehicles, of those who are doing vehicles making more. So, like, for example, my dad does things with making vehicles. He's trying to make more money than people making clothes. They get mad because he realized, oh, they're doing it in natural order. But he ain't making the vehicles no more. So whoever made vehicles move around, he wanted to get clothes off of them because he said his dad moved vehicles, and my granddad moved vehicles around, but he ain't getting no shots fired. But he had so many shots, the Henny bottle was empty. So he got fired. And then whatever he could have taught me, guess it won't worth nothing. Because the vehicles I have still rolling under $25,000 a year. You ain't got an employment record. And that's the situation. It's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They call them employee situations or employment situations. So after Spain, it's Lebanon. Let's see what the Lebanese got going on right quick. It's in the Middle Eastern land. Got that gold too. And that's about 15,000. Or about, let's say, 14,250. And of course, as the gold increases, the story increases. That's what looting in Troy was about. Because they take the spoils like they do in Iraq. Same thing. Take spoils. Somebody dead. They ain't got a whole bunch of money. Saying it's our money. You know what I'm saying? Don't make sense. Sad. So, Lebanon ain't on the world debt clock list. But let's see if they make more than 15,000 or 14,250. Lebanon. There's the war, damage the economy, the infrastructure. Then the gold said $15,600. Like I said, at 300 tons, it's still equal up to about 15,000 a year. So they doing right. Go ahead, you Lebanese government. And then the Lebanese government say, let's see what we can send off. They send off the jury because the base even correct with the gold standard. Base metals, jury. So the chemicals may not have the logistical understanding of how the composites come together, but they can be separated. So when they're separated, they can form an adhesive that's basically remnants without wearing raiment or gowns. So we all can be separated but still be ads or adhesively bonded through our genetics that can't be separated, neither strand. That's easy. So then, they said start to South Africa, shawty. And South Africa kept a G with them and sent it right back on the real note. So the exports they sent to Africa, and then the imports they got from us. I used to say the United States. So the standards is true in Lebanon. So whatever y'all giving Tim Honks in Greece, it ain't worth the award of what it should be in the United States. So that, keep it real, pockets looking funky, make a movie about a gump and a junkie. And then, other than that, war is not possibly sustaining a looter. And then Turkey, right back at, like I said, 15,000. Turkey's on the list. Lebanese won't on the list. So Turkey at 851 million, or 900 million into 90 million people, that's $10,000. I just do the math and say, you know what I'm talking about. 900 billion into 90 million people. It's $10,000. So that means people in Turkey should average at least $10,000. And then 10,000 off of the average near 300 tons. Way back as early as 9,000 BC. And then the list of 10 relates to Jesus. That's the international interest since almost the beginning of time, if it was beforehand. And the kingdom underneath, like, yeah, it was beforehand. We gonna get some more kings in our dumb hand. So then that go right back to the PSID in the United Kingdom, trying to outweigh everybody, 15,000. When we all got a rate of a federal government right in front of them. That's what 12,000 is. So then, blah, 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 blah. And so then the turkey said, gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, I almost forgot. Hold up, who is short? I could have looked back and see who was supposed to get. Wait, I could do that later because I don't feel like doing that right now. Anyway, Turkey. Boom. Here we go. Turkey. Large free market increasingly driven. And then has export mixed oil. And their GDP is 14,800. So they're actually making more than the 300 tons paying. They're making about 5,000 more each year. So who are their partners? The partners there that are increasing the government's performance? Germans and Russia. So Russia is paying Turkey more. For the legislative acts. And Germany is paying Turkey more money for the vehicles. For the apparel. Oh, like I was saying, so where do you think they get the clothes from? So Germany basically buy the clothes from Spain and then sell them jumps. Hold up. The Turkey's exporting apparel. I just said that Turkey's probably buying the clothes from Spain and exporting them to Germany to see if they're gonna become Turks and dress like an Iraqi or an Irani. So the clothes that they selling in Turkey, they selling them to Germany and making about 5,000 more a year, or you could say 33% more a year. And that's 33 again to the clothes on the raiment back. And then the 33% came right back from Russia and said, well, you can sell all the clothes you want, but Russia's still some of the smartest people on the planet, and then Germany, and then China. Then the United States, ooh. And then the black came right back and said, African, albino, Asian, blacks, US 6. I said, yeah, Caucasians in Italy saying niggas stupid. They said, nah, the Egyptians seen what happened to the one in Iran. off the imports. So basically, you gotta remember, somebody gonna always call you a moolie or whatever they call it, pajuto, because they had the .4 in front of them and they ain't blowing smoke. And other than that, 5,000 more is made off of selling clothes. 10,000 more is made off of selling vehicles. If I average the vehicle that I have at 10,000, half of that came back to be 5,000. The vehicle won't sold and clothes won't bought. So 5,000 in each party with a 10,000 yield, 20% interest, fed rate back to 12,000. Because 20% off 10,000 is 2,000 plus 2,000. The 10,000 makes the standard deduction in the United States $12,000. And that's all the vehicles or whatever you want, you can still deduct it, so whatever. Done. Next, oh yeah, let's see what the main thing. So yeah, they mostly dealing with services industries. So the services that's producing the 5,000 more would be work yourself. So 10,000, every person is entitled to $10,000 to $12,000. Like I've been saying, each year that's $1,000 more. And it's not off the agriculture and it's not off the industry, it's off the services. So the services yield with the nearest nation. And that's Russia and Germany. Turkey is between both of them as enmity. So 12,000 divides us, 12 disciples brought Jesus together. And Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall before that snake could get the egg. So, whatever. The United Kingdom is roughly around 17% over the 15,000. I'm just saying that ahead of time. So 300 tons is 15,000. 3 tons is 10%. 1% of 15,000. So 1% is 3%. So 3% times 15,000. That's about $450. So basically, 15,500 is the amount that should be made average in the UK. 15,005, and the UK is on the map. The UK is on the World Debt Clock. So do the math for 4 trillion, 3.7 trillion into, and I don't feel like doing it in my head because it would take, not even take that long, but I just don't feel like doing it. And there's 70 million people. So 7 trillion into 67 million people, 68 million people. 54,000 minus the 15,500. So they make about $38,000 more to $38,911.76 more than they should. So that's about saying basically say 40,000 more than what they should make. Now, off that 40, what you got? So check this out. So the amount that's made more
There's still about 20,000 more they're making. So 36 off that GDP. Watch this. So six, three, 3,700,000,000,000 divided in 70 million people. 52,000 minus the 37,000. So they're still making 15,000 more than it was 8 years ago. So then, who is the exporter? Who paying them imports and exports? Who paying them all that money? Who y'all think? Germany. So, basically, the average of what was taken was because they ain't want the nigga to make it anyway. If you ask me, what else? And then by the time they say, oh, let's be fair, that's what they put them behind us. And they said, the U.S. is trying to be Satan, let's put them behind. So the Germans can say, Hitler ain't do nothing wrong. The Americans did. And all those wars is frivolous. So, exports. So they send it to Germany. And then Germany say, here's your money. And then they're going to say, now let's go buy some back. And they buy the same thing back from Germany, 12%. They buy the same stuff back. And the Netherlands, private business, like they said on the TV show, must be something going in their nose. Because when you think about it, tobacco, at the top of that list right there, say tobacco. Above where it say exports, go in the nose. And then, other than that, the food stuff go in the mouth. So the imports, they're importing from Netherlands to get food in their mouth. But then they exporting with the Netherlands to get stuff in their nose. Because they know once they send it over there, they can get about a good 15 to 30,000 more than what they should. And that's the plug trying to flip off for no reason. And since that's on the list, and they make more than 15,000, that's all I'm saying. And then Saudi Arabia is on the list of World Debt Clock. 15,000 plus a 10%. That's about 16,500. The average should be. And that's about 5,000 years ago. So that's like New Testament. It's actually Old Testament. But since the other place said 9,000 in Turkey, the New Testament. So, alright. So, let's see. 800 billion into 103, just like 15,000. That's probably about right. So 800 million into 33. 800 billion into 33 million. So I'll just say 810 billion into 34 million people. that's roughly 23,000 minus the 15,000 or 16,500 I said. So they roughly come out with about $7,400 more. That go right back to the 7,500, or close to half of the reserves of gold. But since it's crude, it turns into a liquid commodity, like a matrix fluid, intravenously feeding off of the war. So that's why they even got a sword on their flag, because they feed and thrive off of the death. Just to say it's justifiable. Saudi Arabia, on there it says they average $30,000 a year, but do the math. $23,000. So in actuality, they're making more off the war than what you think. That's when somebody comes to pick up a big rock and be like, put something else right there. You know what I'm saying? Because the house built, but give me that rock right quick. And then the oil settles, and they say that's Texas crude. And there you go. That's your oil hole, or your wishing well, whatever. And then the extra money off of that extra couple thousand, 5,000 a year they can make, they send the legislation through a sanction to the United States, exporting, because they can't put it on paper because the paper ain't going to do nothing but hold the ink back from being oil. So the petroleum turning the ink, the United States go ahead and write it down to legislation. The Asians spread the ink to create character letters from a 5,000 year history from Saudi Arabia mining and doing this for a long time. So Turkey said, man, look, go ahead and stop that and put some clothes on your back, because soldiers around here. And then, other than that, America says enact legislation again and save soldiers around. So then, China saying, yep, and they import from China, and what they get from China really is made in China. But when they sell it to people, it ain't nothing but paper. So it's just China sells them ink. So let's see. Oh, matter of fact, I just look at it right here. What China export to Saudi Arabia? Machinery, equipment, foodstuffs, chemical, motor vehicle. So China sending them the vehicles, and what do they send out? Oil. So basically, most of the time they make an extra 5,000 when they send that oil over to America. America put it straight in their expensive vehicle, and Chinese cut them a check. So that's a royalty check. You want to know how that works? So that's common sense. So that check is getting cut is that green flag with royalty on it. So you know how to speak Arabic. You can get a check and see what the oil refinery is doing. And the unit still has MI intelligence at National Guard level, which is above the state with the church. And the mosque is above the ground with some oil. Alright, so then Uzbekistan's not on the list, but let's see how the woman in Saudi Arabia are doing. And the woman of Bangladesh, God bless you, helping being the prime minister and showing the woman how to educate themselves. Nation and so Saudi Arabia still trying to manage the same thing. And then let's see, Saudi Arabia has heavier woman than men at 28, 26. So that's 34, 54. 2, 27% body fat. That's 3 times 14. 42 plus 182 pounds. So the average person in Saudi Arabia weighs 182 pounds. And with them weighing 182 pounds, they're getting just enough to suffice their weight, but not enough to support the work. So they just don't want to work, they don't want to wait. Wait until somebody strike to say that's their work, to strike back. But when you strike first, then you lose 100-something pounds, and they got an installation trying to tell somebody, hey, you wouldn't install ourselves and what you talking about. Say, whatever. It was Uzbekistan. Go ahead, Uzbekistan. Tell them how you get those 15,000 plus the 1,500 and 750, 2,250. That's $17,500. Roughly around 17,000. I say 18,000. $18,000 on the Uzbekistan. They don't know. Well, that clock. So let's look at it on the facts. Uzbekistan, the facts ain't still behind us. So go ahead, keep saying facts and what's up behind you here. Boom. Doing Uzbekistan dirt ball. $3,000, $4,000. And they supposed to get paid by like $18,000. So Uzbekistan missing out on the 12,000 and the 2,000. So who's undershorting who? Usually the partner, because the partner can still help the limits. So China is kicking so much royalties to Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan don't know what to do. And Russia getting it, say, well, they don't have the money to kick back to them, because Russia already kicking the money to Turkey. I just said that a little while ago. And Uzbekistan said, what'd you say about Turkey? Better pass that. Yeah, it must know I'm hungry. So then see, Uzbekistan's weight is still checked because they don't wait and they ain't striking, so they're very patient.
But God bless their ways, because God is a patient God. And they shouldn't be patients off their hunger. So, God, please feed them Uzbekistanis.
See, look at that. So,
And the
if you look at the nation,
I'm from Uzbekistan. Oh, snap. Little baby smart. I said Uzbekistan. I could barely say Uzbekistan.
right at the top of here, basically with the population there,
Uzbekistan over there.
highest population on the
You
planet.
should be at your brain. Yeah, the man is there good. Saying Uzbekistan said whatever.
Due to weight of the individuals, with their average in India,
So looking
right at the top of
towards
here,
the weight
you
structure.
can see that the blue is male, so that means the males are heavier than the woman. But the odd thing about it is if you look at Kuwait,
Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan is right there on the bottom list to say 26 to 24, that's about 50 is 25, with 14, 28 added on to 140, that's 168. So the average weight in Uzbekistan is 168. 168 pounds. So let's see if I'm right. And this is off 30. I'm just doing math off 30. This one's something I already seen, but watch it. Alrighty, where is it? I'm looking to see if human's weight is Uzbekistan. Yeah, average height. Well, they showed the height, they probably showed the weight, so let's see. The average height. This is showing heights. They ain't showing the average weight, so whatever. Let's see if it's right there. So, still not say right there. So I'm just doing Google work, but y'all just sitting there waiting on it. Golly. That's easy, man. Alright, so 100. I said 100 and whatever pounds. I already know I already said it, whatever. 184 even with stuff on. So what you think they eating? They say the mineral is rich. So the muscles are restoring themselves and the fat ain't even on the muscles. Because they just eating rich minerals. So the rich minerals will be whatever they're holding on to. So it says that they're exporting things. And the exports should be their money maker. So China's undercutting them. Turkey's getting the money from Russia to keep it like that. And Russia right behind Turkey. Look at that right there at the top. Look. Exports. Remember I said Russia giving it to Turkey? Look at that. 14.7. Turkey right in front of them. 15.8. Told you. So daggone, they undercutting Uzbekistan. And then Kazakhstan said, man, we'll help you out, bro. And then let's see what Kazakhstan make in a year. Matter of fact, let's see what Kazakhstan the next on the list. Boom. What the heck is that about? You know what I'm saying? Is that grimy? Golly, let's see how much Kazakhstan make. Kazakhstan make more than Uzbekistan. And they got to measure people and everything. Yeah, they got about 20 more tons of gold. So the population, let's see how many people over there. Because neither one of them Jones neither one of them places on the daggone, debt clock. So 28 million people, and that's 30 million people in Uzbekistan. And let's see what Kazakhstan did to them. Kazakhstan. Alright. Let's see. Kazakhstan got less people than Uzbekistan, but they have more gold as a Muslim nation. A Islamic nation, I should say. And they're making less money still trying to look out for their peoples. So I told you they're trying to help. So Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan is trying to help whoever they exporting with. Because if you import, you must be getting some SHI. Because if they ain't getting that much money, y'all must be making them stuff. So look at that, boom, they trying to help. They exporting, trying to help each other. And Uzbekistan said, hey, this ain't Kazakhstan, it's something else. What the heck is that? Damn, they ain't got Kazakhstan on that jump. Oh, there you go. Kazakhstan, I say that joke. Oh, it's not their name so close, they still have it. That's funny. Alright, so, and it was so well, even though I tried to be wrong, I still was, but still right. So daggone. So they exporting with China, but they importing with China. So China giving them so much ish, they ain't gonna make enough. See, that's 13, and that's supposed to make 15,000. So they getting shorted by the Chinese government just because they're on the land of Asia. And the Asians taxing the land as inheritance. So they taxing them 10% of 15,000 is 1,500 minus 15,000 is 13,500. What the heck, yo? What the heck, yo? Golly. So Asia getting it off of them exactly. But they making Uzbekistan struggle more than everybody. Because Uzbekistan must be grimy. They must be going at it over that jump. Oh, man. So then the exports that they sending out is helping by sending oil to China. It's helping China stay going. And then by getting the vehicles from China, it helped them go forward and drive fast. So Uzbekistan basically the ones that be stopping in the street and getting out their car. That's the spirit of Uzbekistan. But that's the spirit of Kazakhstan to keep on driving with the oil guy gave. And then that's that. And then they're getting a little shorter, but Uzbekistan is still averaging good weight. Let's see if they still eating somehow for that. But Kazakhstan is eating less. See, look, it's right there. Look, right here. Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan's at the bottom. So Kazakhstan has heavier women, and they have a vast amount of different sizes. Like the men are skinny, but the women are fat, but then some of them get skinny. So they have the largest change that's Haiti. I thought that was Kazakhstan. Yeah, well, Kazakhstan is right underneath the longest line of Haiti. Kazakhstan, they said. Oh no, I'm looking wrong again. Kazakhstan. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one on the clock. Kazakhstan, and then that's that one. Yeah, so let me make sure. 13,000. Yep, the tax off of 15,000 with more tons to tax. So basically, people in Uzbekistan is probably eating mineral-rich things, and Kazakhstan's underneath the longest line that I just showed you right here. That long is the next one under. So that just means that their weight is between 25 and 23. You add those two together and divide it. That's what, 48 then divided by 2. That's 24. 20 is 140. 22 is 154. 24 is 168 pounds. So the average person in Kazakhstan is 168 pounds. I ain't even talking about no daggone people in places, man. Dang on. And that's 15. And a 30. And Portugal with the rate of, let's say, that's 90, so that's about 30% more than 15,000 is 19,500 to 20,000. So they're basically around 19,000 in Portugal. $19,000 in Portugal, but it says they have more than Saudi Arabia. So before I do that, let's see if Portugal make more than Saudi Arabia. Let's see. Not saying that matters, but I just want to find out right quick. Portugal, so I can see, and then Saudi Arabia is around 30,000. Portugal is around 23,000. So if they have more than Saudi Arabia, but they making less, guess what that means? I just did the math and said they should make around 19,000 at the low end, and they're making about 4,000 to 5,000 more. So they are able to get more than what they are supposed to be getting at a standard. And they're doing business with Spain, so they probably getting a lot of clothing. And there you go, clothing is on the list. I just said that. So they're exporting to Spain, and Spain's paying them for clothing, but they're not getting more than Saudi Arabia. So the vehicles again started to win because they're using the oil. And then they import stuff from Spain, but they sell the same stuff right back to Spain. But they just import more and then sell back to them. So when they import agriculture products and all that, people in Portugal go in there to buy clothes but they come out with a German vehicle, and Germany comes back to say Germany won. And at every port, it's still vehicles that's going to outdo the shipment clothing because it could get bugs in them, and cars could just get metal refineries or rust. So, since we all hold bugs, we doing better releasing rust. So, releasing rust is the same thing as releasing cash, because the gold still don't add up because the oil still moves. Ain't hot in Thompson, nigga. Talking around me. And other than that, Taiwan is around $22,500 a year. Now Portugal is also on the list, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right quick. Portugal, 230 billion into 12 million. 230 billion to 12 million people. It's 19,000 some odd dollars. That's exactly what I said Portugal should have made on average. But guess what? Their GDP is banding right anyway. I said 19,500. So I made every Portugal citizen around $334 more. 333 more than what they was already making. That's managing the government from the port of logistics. 92 Yankee, 92 Alpha, 8 Y. Taiwan should make about 22,500. I'll go ahead and do Taiwan right quick. $22,500, and they're making about 16 to 18,000 more than that. So whoever the import-export partners are, they're paying more than what they should. So the regulatory agencies are charging too much as governments. Not to be overthrown, but to have interest changes. The central bank rate should go up because the citizens should make more money. So the central bank rate in Taiwan should be more than 1.88% as of this time. And I already got that. So let's see what Taiwan is doing. Taiwan, that's in Europe. Alright, Taiwan. Whatever. There we go. So, nope. Oh, I probably got it right there. Let's see. Taiwan. Do I got it on that one? No, oh, matter of fact. Oh, snap. I could just use this right quick. Let me see. I know that ain't probably on there somewhere. Thailand, Sri Lanka, Philippines. What the heck? Oh, I could do that. There we go.
The race and ethnicity and the nation.
Alright, so let's see the Taiwan on there.
And here, interest rate, darken this. The nation numbers right here because the alphabet changed over to numbers.
Alright, so Taiwan, their interest rate.
So then that's when it turns into the numbering system. But it can still be used in the same way African, albino, Australia.
Yeah, I was saying interest rate in Taiwan. I feel like doing all that right now. All right, so current interest rate. Taking money from the Taiwanese people. That's why I said they should have inflated it, because then they could have paid them back. And they're already making $38,000 a year. I guess they're getting paid back off the central bank anyway. And central bank is still trying to say the Taiwanese is getting it from whoever exporting it to them. So your best investments would be into China. And imports, they export to China and they import from Japan. So they got just enough to pay Japan back to keep the numbers going. China behind them and say, go ahead, Taiwan, show them that technology sector. They call it the T sector. Let me see if I'm right. T sec, stock market. Taiwan, told you. Since 1961, Taiwan has had an intelligence sector similar to the birth of a mother. And then exporting electronics from Taiwan can make people a lot of money. The Circuit City did it so long, they said, man, the best thing they can do is buy it. And then sell it. And say, no, watch what I'm talking about. And that's what the industry do to a TV. So we smart. We just ran into each other with a football. And look how much we made after that. And a basketball. You don't run into each other with basketball. That's charging. Unless you pick up the charge before the brother can say, hit it with a hacky pick. And they can say, man, you ain't getting no rest to skate off like that. And I saw how cool you are. It's like the effect of your hot tungsten, nigga. So keep your tongue in your mouth. You want to keep that mofo. You know what I'm saying? And everybody want to go raggedy beard like they raggedy. And ain't going on with it. So anyway, after Taiwanese government is making more than their average, the Chinese government is supporting it with the exports of the electronics. And the electronics could be supported by the GDP per capita, and exporting services is dealing most with electronics through China, so that people can buy good electronics from Taiwan. They basically can make, let's see how much more I was saying. All right, so 300 tons is 15,000. 415 tons is 15,000 plus 7,500. So that's 22,500. Out of the difference, 22,500 minus the 38,500 minus 22,500, $16,000 with a 4,000 Fed rate. 4,000 in the 401k, 12,000 on the Fed rate. Go ahead and get a yield in interest of renewable Russell 2000 since 2000 years it's been going. And that's 9,000 in Turkey, 9,000 years, 5,000 years in Saudi Arabia, 2,000 years in Taiwan. That's the technology industry. So every 4,000 some odd years, here's 6,000. Everybody gonna still do the same nothing. And then 6,000 years is 6 days in God's eyes. 1 day is 1,000 years. 6 days of creation, 1 day of rest. Turn right back to say 1,000 years. Double it up to the year 2,000. 10% of 2,000 is 200. So yeah, 2,200. Everything should be complete. And then, other than that, the stars want to say, they gonna fall anyway by 180 years. And 180 years, one more lifetime with a 60 on it. And I ain't 60 yet. And the promise is 120. So 22 years, 24 years. It's the same opposite of how long my grandma was here after that. So whatever. And then 315,000. 450 is 22,500 plus another 1,500 to make it 480 tons. That's 24,000 plus another 1,500 to make it 510 tons. That's $25,500. Roughly around $26,000 they should be making in Europe off the gold reserve standard. That's what we call hauling AS. Trying to move out the way, huh? Trying to not get caught on. Let's see. And 25,000 compared to 2012 estimates, 34,000. That's about $9,000 to $10,000 more than what they normally should get off the gold standard. So now 10,000 more off a gold standard. And now I go back real quick to check this out. Let's see what happened. That's 620 billion divided into 26 million. It's 23,000. So like I was saying, they still making about, in Taiwan, they still make about 13,000 more. And in the EU, they make about 13,000 more. So they both making about 13,000 more on either side. in Taiwan is averaging, let's see, 600, let's see. Yeah, so anyway, be right behind in gold. They still averaging the same amount. The electronic industry is still making more through tech that Microsoft is making through inventory. So the European government cannot outdo the United States because Taiwan is making more than the European government. And the United States has higher GDP than Taiwan. So even if the European government inflated their GDP, it's only to see what the United States is going to do. They can try to make the stars fall, or they can keep on the flag. There's 12 stars as a discipleship of a union for the flag to fly with 50. And 10% of 500 tons, 504.8 tons, is 50 tons. 10%, 36,600. 360. Turning around, play share of the screen, the union of Nintendo. And India, as I said, 50 tons. Look at that. They picked up the tons as soon as I dropped it. They picked up the 10% and they increased tons in 2 years, man. So that's odd. So, without looking at the money amount, let's say 2 times over, that's 30,000. So they should be averaging 30,000, but I know they're getting like 3,000 because that's what it's been told. Yeah, like 3,000 something per person. Because all you gotta say is on the GDP world debt clock, divide 3 trillion into 1.5 billion, or 3 trillion, 300 million into 1.6 million, it's 1.6 billion. So in actuality, they actually, GDP wise, currently it's around 2,000 to 3,000 a year. So they're making like 2,000 to 3,000 a year. So in actuality, their purchasing power went down about like $1 trillion since 2012. $1 trillion or $2 trillion since 2012. And if it doubled, that would have been 45,000. So they put $1 trillion industry, Amazon, see who's gonna help. $1 trillion industry, Apple, see who's gonna help. And Microsoft came out and said, we heard technology, it came straight from the euro. Yeah, straight from the camel's mouth. Let's see if that's gonna work. Yeah. And then after that, the 4,000 still ain't equal more than the GDP in 2012. So India got taxed 10% of, or 5% of 4,000. That's $200 in 2012. Sitting there, pay it forward. That's $400. So in actuality, they gotta get each of them $400 a week. And that's $1,600 or $16,000 a year. Then the 400 is adding on another 1,600. 1,600 is 3,200 plus 600, 19,200. And that's the same amount that I said before with Europe and Taiwan. So basically, they gotta get in business with Europeans and Asians. And as soon as they gave them that, that's a 10% that I said that was 50 tons. So that's with that. You gotta see who they exporting with. You gotta see who probably taking all that stuff. And the Emirates and the United States are taking their stones, their precious stones, and making fun of it in the movie Lord of the Rings. Talking about you pimping ass is, but you ain't holding precious. Hold the precious head. Look at the beautiful eyes. Look at the beautiful skin. That's a soul. Don't slip on your petroleum products, pimp. Cause I put your oil in your cup and tell you get a chalice. And then you got more stones in your cup looking like a broke pimp. Church. Now, the Emirates gotta pay up India, but the Emirates have to give land rights or oil rights to India. Instead of creating a pipeline, shipping the crap over there, they should get the rights so they could learn how to ship their own crap. Just like the episode Cash for Gold. It went straight over there, came straight back. So India should be entitled to airline travel so they can get away from it. So the Indian airports should start having iron and steel imported, with the Chinese government hiring the Arab Emirates Airlines to fly independent passengers to the United States to work as doctors to say it's something wrong, but it ain't nothing wrong. And that's, the Indian doctors setting up the Americans to fall, and that's a form of terrorism. So you gotta watch out for the doctors. Because in all actuality, if y'all wanted to help that much, you went right back to India and did that over there. And you know how much you could have made off of that, because 10% is only paying you $2,000. That's $20,000 over there with everybody growing. Instead of $2,000 for everybody going out, it's 100 people they're trying to take out with the Indian government. And 10% of that is 10 times more. So you got 10 times more people. We could take them down. And that's Asian. And Asian government coming there, he said, "Oh, I got something to take you down." And he started saying, hold on, I know it. And then he looked at it and said, "Where the money at?" And going off. Other than that, there's the Netherlands. With something for you to take right off the table. That's roughly $33,000. So, go back to India and say, well, India is missing out on about $30,000 because they're let's say around $33,000 a year. So they're missing about $30,000 a year because the Emirates is taking the oil and selling it to get their own rights back. But the Indians can't get the oil because they ain't had nobody to really distribute it to them. So they go and create regulatory agencies to regulate how much oil they're going to ship. And the oil is not the largest industry, but the largest industry is not agricultural. It's something that's industrialized. So it's chemicals, steel, transportation equipment, mining, and software pharmaceuticals. So the labor force is mostly with the agricultural things, the things that could benefit them in their kitchen. So the textiles, chemicals, and food processing. So that's where most of their money is at. And if they could just keep the textiles above the crap, they could walk on it without getting sick. So then, since most of the exports is dealing with oil, once they get rid of petroleum and stone, once they get rid of it, they struggle to get the interest back. So the Emirates say, well, this person in America bought this man diamond. Let's see if we get some interest off. So they try to pull him through the wormhole. And then the wormhole say, well, put some oil in it. Because you're pulling somebody around that's going to try to say, guess what? The 10% from China still gave it to him. Gave him 10%, 10.7%, or 11% of oil to say, go and pull whatever they can. So they start pulling, and the exports they ship out to go straight to whoever voted. So they say, well, they import oil from China, but then they export petroleum to Emirates in the United States. So basically, India exports things to make people look good. And now the Emirates do things to make people feel good. The United States do things to make people feel good, but still export what's causing the nations not to feel good. And that is another person down. So they can't throw stones. They gotta lift up those who have stones, which is what they've been doing. That's what they had to China. And then, other than that, the 1,000 short basically comes from the Emirates not distributing back that wealth to India. Through redefining the value of the oil to be something bought from India instead of buying it from the Emirates. So you look at the Emirates, it's not on the World Tech Clock, so it's kind of just an evaluation. But they're averaging 20-some-odd thousand a year. With the population mostly depending on the industry that's not agricultural, dealing off of petroleum, so they make most of their money dealing with India. And the petroleum goes right back to say India has to gain more funds through oil, not petroleum, because there's not that many people in Emirates, but 255 billion is about 12% of the GDP loss in India. So 12% times 10 years of doing that, or get their GDP back up to par, and the amount of people in the Emirates, 5 million, 6 million people, compared to 1.4 billion people, gotta figure it out. Gotta run with who you come up with. And then the Netherlands could show them how to get funds without the drugs that put them on the ground. And the Emirates said, well, how much money I spent in the bank? As far as I can tell. And you could go ahead and say, well, the Netherlands want to share, they're on $33,000. Let's see, $36,000. Let's see if they make more than 36. See if they should share. And the Netherlands, boom, they should share. The Netherlands could share 10%, paying 10% of the economy structure to the Emirates. Now, as they're making more, like I said, it's like they're making about like 7,000 more a year. I mean, everybody can get minimum wage, even the Emirates that don't have nothing to sleep on the ground. The Arab Emirates, they can still get that 10%. Other than exports coming from Germany, they're exporting from Germany and they're importing from Germany. So basically, the Arab Emirates, since they manage the oil, they can take that oil and put it on the pan, turn it to ink, and then write down what the regulatory cost would be for getting the oil so Germans could ship some, instead of having to worry about what the cost of the gases was that was putting them on the ground in their concentrated state. In Japan, it's like, let's see, 15,000, that's 30,000. That's 600 plus another 15,000. Actually, 300 plus 300, 600 tons, that's 30,000. And then 30%, actually, I'm do it like this. 600 tons is 30,000. 150 tons is 7,500. So 300 plus 300 is 30 plus 75, 37,000. So roughly around like $40,000 is what the Japanese government should be able to pay their employees with the amount of tons that they have. So with Japan being on the map right there, and the Netherlands being on the map, 40,000. I'm going to go ahead and do the Netherlands one right quick. Let's see what that look like, and then do Japan, get that out the way. So the Netherlands, about 900 billion, 18 million. It's $50,000. And then with Japan, 5 trillion, 5 trillion, into 130 million. 38 to $40,000. So both of them roughly averaging around $40,000. So the Netherlands, like I said, they did 40,000. And it's right at 40,000, like I was saying, even with the GDP going down from 2010 to 2012, right around 40,000. So that's correct. They're managing that correctly. And Japan is right around 35 to 40,000. So theirs is measured correct. So the tons measuring out to pay them for what they can handle. And 40,000. And Switzerland is extra 55,000. So in Switzerland, more likely their GDP is probably about 55,000. I'm pretty sure the GDP per capita is about 55,000. So 800 million and 9 million. 800 million. 800 billion into 9 million. So in actuality, they're getting paid 88,000 average. And it's supposed to be about 65,000. Because it's like saying 300 tons is 15,000. 600 is 30,000. 900 is 45,000. So they really supposed to make like close to about 60,000. So they make about 28,000 more than what they should. So then you go and look at the import exports to see who's paying earnestly, honestly, and above 10%. So every American citizen is qualified for their attempts. And China's made it legal. In Japan, and importing, they're getting more from China as their works, and we're getting more through America from our labor. So the labor is balancing out above the works. So they import a lot of our gases, natural gas, etc., etc. All the negative side effects. And they send a lot of vehicles. The same thing, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so 60,000 is 28,000 more. So look at the GDP of Switzerland per capita and see if it's above 60,000. Nope. So in actuality, back then they were getting paid about 16,000 less. Now let's see who's getting most of the interest off of the banks, the Swiss accounts, whoever is exporting with them. Germany first. So Germany's always making way more interest than the United States. Now let's see how much Germany makes as a nation. Because I ain't even get to the gold part yet with Germany, because they on the list Like I'll show you right quick. Look. Say, look. Germany, United States, Germany, etc. So basically, Germany is getting paid a lot off of that. So let's see how much Germany's GDP is, because I ain't gonna keep on doing all this extra stuff. I don't feel like it. Do the rest later. So whatever. And then if I don't do the rest later, still don't make it. It's already done. I did it. Ta-da! 38 to 40,000. So that's how that worked. And then after Switzerland with 3,000. Oh, should I say after Switzerland it's China? So 300, that's 15,000. And then 600 tons, that's 30,000. And 900 tons, that's 45,000. So 45 plus 45 is 90,000. Or you can say 1,800 tons. So really, it should be making about $95,000 a year, or 91,000 a year. So in China, let's see. $91,000. Look at that. The GDP is a 10% of that from 2012. So really, they're making only 10% of what they should make. And the funny part about it is, look at the top of this thing. See how it says that it's you can see the way the measure is not accurate. Of course, it ain't accurate. They don't make it 10% of what they're supposed to, especially right at the back to gold. And China's visa, the rest of the world says what? Not accurate. It understates the actual level of it. And I just called that before you even read all. So they have the highest agricultural push, but since it's a technological advancement, from what Taiwan showed us earlier, the industry would basically have to look for their number one export, because whoever they're exporting with, basically ain't getting 10% more. There you go. America, United States. And then import, and China's like, man, y'all send all that stuff, but they ain't get 10 times more than that. Well, Japan made 10%. And he going more and more in debt. And Japan's like, how come they're going in debt and making 10% off of whatever they selling? That's because the prices ain't inflated, and Hong Kong has so many people that they just balance it. Just say, well, forget it. If nobody don't get it, they ain't there. They still went to war and they still lost, because they ain't gonna get all of it from China. And then that's the Chinese government still. They got 10% and they got 90%. So if they getting 100%, they don't get 10%. Guess what they ain't gonna get? They ain't gonna get the 90. So then the Chinese government is looking for the exports from the United States. Once the exports get sent out, they want the extra 10%, and then Russia come around and say, well, what's $91,000? And if people ain't getting more than 91,000, China ain't thinking no. And then Russia looks at it and said, well, let's see, that's 91,000 plus another 300, 15,000. That's $106,000 a year. So if they can't get $106,000 each year, Russia is looking for agents. They ain't looking for people. $106,000 Of course, the Russian government ain't making more than 106,000 for the people each year. Let's see, China. I'll do China GDP right quick so I get this out the way. Per person, because it's on the map up there on the what you call it. See, I said 91,000. The GDP was 9,100. So they're getting paid 10% what they're supposed to get, and 90% of them is still a tenth, only a tenth of the true number of the population. So that means there's 10 billion people on the planet and like a billion Asians. So that's still only 10%. Watch. See, so about a billion Asians, a billion Chinese, and then 10%. Hey, even if that's supposed to be, it's supposed to be 13, 14 billion people on the planet. Only 10 billion people on the planet, that's still 10%. Somewhere around that mark. So anyway, 91,000 to 9,100. I did the math and looked it up, and that's exactly how it came up. So, with 106,000 in Russia, 106. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and do the GDP off this clock so y'all can see that it was accurate also. So $16 trillion into 1.6 is still $16 trillion into 1.6 billion people is $10,000. I mean, yeah, what 16 trillion what? So basically, $10,000 is the standard in Japan. So if you say what's 10% of 9,100, $910 plus 9,100 is $10,100. So China averages $10,100 with $90,000 and with an $80,000 to $81,000 missing. So then the Russian government says, well, America ain't giving them 81,000, and y'all ain't getting 81,000. So where'd $81,000 go? And then the $81,000 straight back to Russia, looking for 106,000, and Russia has about $8,000 probably a year GDP. That's actually about 16,000, 17,000. But if you do the math off the world clock, let's see if that's wrong or right. So it might be wrong, but let's see. 1,800 or 1,800,000,000,000. Into about 400 million people, I think. I know 140 million. So that's $12,800. Roughly $13,000 a year. And the Russian government, based off of the current GDP per capita. So they still shorted. The current rate is being shorted. So whoever their exports are, they shorten them. So let's see. Shorted with the Netherlands. So the Netherlands and China are shorting the Russian people that's supposed to make about $100,000. Because China's made 14 trillion, but China got shorted from America. So the Russians is looking like, man, how the Americans always getting more than $100,000 and we can't get $100,000? So the Russians send spies to look at those families that make more than $100,000. And another one say, yeah, and they shorted you. They're coked up crazy, man. And then China, it's like, well, they shorted us too, but not as bad as the Netherlands. And the Netherlands have to be grateful that they get what they get, because in all actuality, Chinese said we gonna send Russia the same thing anyway. And look how Russia and the United States correlate. They ain't even sending each other nothing. And the Russians worry about what the United States doing. What they need to worry about is what Germany doing. Because Germany right behind China, like, jump, close the door, gas them. Then apparently China ain't doing that to nobody. So the Netherlands is the one that caused the Germans to go off. Just like people in Family Guy trying to keep picking on people. That's bullying. In New Zealand, that's allowed. And then the 100-some-odd-thousand that was supposed to be made there compared to the 1.8 trillion into 140 million, it's short about $94,000 a year. So roughly $94,000 a year. So what the Russian nation is shorted based off the Hebrew technology number 7. And then number 7, I wrote Russian number 7. Look at this. This will make it real funny. Look. Number 7. Check this out. Number 6. How that happened? No, man. All right, so France, 106,000 plus 15,000 is 121,000. And 121,000. With France being on the list at $2,850,000,000,000. Actually, $2,850,000,000,000 divided into 70 million people. $40,000. So France is only making $40,000 when the fashion shows to be worth more than $100,000. So in all actuality, she's making more, just enough to have enough to cover up beyond. And after, to make more, to say the government is still not as bad as a 40 beyond. And a 40 is a brag. But that's $714 a week. So security, nigga, 700. That's $2,800 a month. Other than that, it showed it 3 times. And we're 3 times. God bless that with 1,000 poking up. And Italy is around 123,000. 123,000. Make it easy for you. 123,000 a year. And 2,100,000,000. 2,100,000,000,000. Divided into 61 million. It's 34,000. Minus 123,000. That shows about 88,000. 88,000 a year. With 83 on paper, and again, I don't want to show it. And other than that, Italy has around GDP of 30,000, roughly 30,000. When the number came out to look as 2,061,000,000. 2 trillion into 62 million. So 33,000 compared to 30,000. So they're short about 8,000 based off of here. So whoever was there, and it's short, and even as years go down, the exporter is taking most of the money. That's Germany. I love Germany. So then Germany said, man, so sorry, because France got somewhere too. And then Germany said, well, import what you get. Yeah, what you get. You get what you get. And eat what you get. Either way you look at it. We ain't sending you nothing. We ain't giving you nothing. And the law still stands to say that whatever exports is coming out, they ain't getting enough back. So those vehicles coming from there and the clothes coming from there, you can't blame the clothes. You gotta blame the vehicle. And 30,000, 30-some-odd thousand compared to 20,000, about $5,000 difference. And then after Italy, the International Monetary Fund was saying 140,000 to $150,000 a year. And the International Monetary Fund is already balanced. Already put it at 150,000, close to it. 1944, that's after Grandma and Papa was born. So I sell it 150,000, and the 10% came back. I still ain't getting it. Gotta rip my weight. And I was gonna say, hey, I'm gonna give 50,000. Blah, blah, blah. Same old dumb crap. And then 150,000 with Germany, looking at it as times 15,000 is at 300. 3,000, 150,000. The same number that I said before. Boom. 150,000. And then plus the other thousands, 165,000. Plus another 10,000, that's 170,000. Minus the 5,000 to pay out. The same thing all over again. And say, hey, I can say how much it ain't gonna be the same either way. So then 3,000 tons, 150,000. And then 3,300 tons is 165,000. And then 167,500, 169,000 to $170,000. That's what Germans average. So they put 133 to steal it and say, they made $170,000. And they're still selling that much. And you can gamble in Vegas all you want. And you can try and call a few minutes ago. Like I ain't know you was gonna call and say, hey, I sure is go ahead and click on what you called, but I ain't. I'm American and I'm independent of your bull. So your bull could be bully till his ass bully on. And then, other than that, look at Germany. And Germany, 170,000. For vehicles, the vehicle costs more than 170,000. The same way we car rental bull. And then, ta-da! Missing 170,000, 130,000. $333,000 missing average. 133,000 plus the loss of what was going on to Uncle's case with the Germans in Las Vegas. Put up 133,000. Money lost. That's from Germany to Switzerland. That's the Fed rate in Switzerland. Coming back, they say, well, there's Germany. And Germany go way back and say, well, who's taking the most from Germany? Because exporting it with them, it'll be France. So France, they giving back the 10%, but they ain't giving back the 10% to those over there. So basically France, like I said in the movie Eurotrip, France is Germany's ally. By the time they get the 10% back, all the money keep going to the industry. And then most of the things that's taken away from Germany is the principal balances of the cost effectiveness of the trauma from the chemicals, the machine that they made, and the vehicle that it never should have been processed. And it robbed the charges until the charges couldn't get through the plastic, created a credit that could never be paid off due to the enslavement of the charges in the sky that ionized and biblically created rainbows from France exporting gayness to no longer have sodomy, but to have lots. And not to be parking no German engineer car, but to have lots of people getting out from the 10% of the 10th of our tides and not getting flooded again from the tide, but to rise above the storm with God's wonders and get bread. One bread. Blah, 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 nigga, so. And then, after that, 3:30, school out, highly furnished United States, blah, blah, blah. 300 is 15,000, 3,000 is 150,000 times 3. That's 450,000 or 400,000 for the United States in America. 400,000 in America is only averaging GDP in the United States of America of 51,000. So they're missing 350,000. Jose Williams, I'm out.